Today, I present the intricacies and lasting curiosity of the infamous Black Dahlia case, a story that has woven itself into the cultural fabric of American history. I will explore the life of Elizabeth Short, examine the circumstances surrounding her tragic death, and discuss the extensive investigation that ensued. My aim is to provide you with a comprehensive, clear, and balanced perspective on one of the most notorious unsolved cases in United States history, ensuring that all explanations remain accessible to a general audience without excessive technical details. In this video, I will take you step by step through Elizabeth Short's journey, from her early years in New England to her final moments in Los Angeles. I will present the documented facts, from her humble beginnings and challenging upbringing to the grim details of the crime scene, and finally to the investigation and ensuing media frenzy that only deepened the mystery. I am committed to using a formal tone that upholds accuracy, clarity, and precision, inviting you to consider both the established facts and the many theories that have emerged over the decades. Throughout my narration, I will adhere strictly to verified sources to ensure that the narrative is grounded in documented history and presented without embellishment. I will also reflect on how the case transcends mere headlines and enters the realm of cultural mythology, influencing everything from literature to film. As we journey through the stages of Elizabeth Short's life, from her formative years and relocation to the dramatic events of January 1947, I invite you to ponder how a single tragedy can shape public discourse and leave a legacy that continues to captivate our collective imagination. Let us now begin by exploring her early life and background. I now turn my attention to Elizabeth Short's early years, which provide critical context to understanding the woman whose life would later become shrouded in mystery. Born on July 29, 1924, in the Hyde Park neighborhood of Boston, Massachusetts, Elizabeth was the third of 5 daughters in a family beset by both hope and hardship. I recount how her family's financial difficulties, notably following her father's ill-fated endeavors and personal tragedies, such as the loss of his savings during the stock market crash, greatly influenced her upbringing. I describe her childhood in New England and later in Florida, where she experienced the duality of care and neglect. Her mother, Phoebe Short, worked diligently under the strain of supporting the household, while young Elizabeth encountered various challenges, including recurring health issues that eventually led to significant lung surgery at 15. This formative period not only exposed her to hardship, but also sparked in her the desire for a transformative change in her life. As I delve deeper into her background, I discuss how her early education came to an abrupt end when she dropped out of high school during her sophomore year, an event that symbolized the beginning of a life marked by both struggle and defiance. I stress that while many rumors have since circulated about her personal life, the verifiable facts indicate that she was a young woman caught between the realities of a turbulent family situation and the allure of a more glamorous lifestyle. These experiences, I believe, played a significant role in shaping the enigmatic persona that the media would later seize upon. By understanding her early years, we can better grasp the complexity of the woman behind the legend. Following the turbulent years of her early life, I now describe Elizabeth Short's move to the West Coast, a decision that would ultimately lead her into the orbit of Hollywood and its relentless pressures. In December 1942, at the age of 18, I explain how Elizabeth sought out her estranged father living in California. This relocation was motivated partly by the hope of reuniting with family and partly by the lure of a new beginning in an environment starkly different from New England. I recount how her brief period of living in Vallejo quickly turned sour due to personal conflicts with her father, prompting her to seek independence. This pursuit of autonomy led her to work various jobs, such as a position at the Base Exchange at Camp Cook. While the idea that she was preparing for a career in acting circulates widely, I clarify that despite aspirations toward Hollywood glamour, there are no confirmed credits or substantial evidence that she actively pursued an acting career. I emphasize that her lifestyle during this period was marked by transient employment, short-term living arrangements, and encounters with a variety of individuals, from strict military personnel to locals in California's burgeoning urban landscape. In sharing these details, I highlight how the reality of her life diverged from the myth later constructed by sensationalist media. Her struggles, including a brief stint with legal issues in Santa Barbara for underage drinking, reveal a young woman navigating an unstable existence while chasing an elusive dream of reinvention. This period, full of both ambition and vulnerability, set the stage for the tragic events that were to follow. I now address the most harrowing aspect of this case, the murder of Elizabeth Short and the shocking state in which her body was discovered. On the evening spanning January 14 to 15, 1947, Elizabeth's life was brutally cut short. I provide an account of the final hours leading to her mysterious disappearance, recounting how she was last seen returning to Los Angeles before the tragic events unfolded. When her body was found in a vacant lot in the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles, the scene immediately struck investigators and the public alike with its gruesome details. I recount the disturbing discovery. Her body had been severed neatly at the waist, a level of precision that puzzled both law enforcement and medical examiners. The notoriously intricate dismemberment included signs of a hemicorporectomy, a procedure that ordinarily requires specialized knowledge, thereby suggesting that the perpetrator may have possessed certain skills or familiarity with medical practices. In explaining the crime scene, I emphasize that the dismemberment was carried out with remarkable care. Her remains were arranged in a manner that appeared almost deliberate. Her lower body lay a distance away from her upper torso, with evidence indicating that the killer had attempted to wash the body, possibly to remove traces of evidence. I detail that the autopsy revealed severe mutilation, face slashed into what has been described as a Glasgow smile, and multiple cuts along her body, all of which elevated the brutality of the crime in the public eye. I underscore that while the external evidence was extensive and disturbing, it also presented more questions than answers. The precision of the incisions, the absence of significant bruising around the incisions, and the clinical nature of the dismemberment led investigators to consider that the crime might have been perpetrated by someone with specialized knowledge. This realization deepened the mystery and fostered numerous theories about the killer's identity, prompting me to reflect on the implications for criminal investigation practices in post-war America. In this narrative, I attempt to bring clarity to these details and stress that while the murder remains unsolved, the facts continue to call for a careful examination of motive, method, and opportunity. Following the discovery of Elizabeth Short's body, law enforcement launched one of the most extensive investigations of its time, and I will now describe the sequence of events that unfolded. The Los Angeles Police Department, alongside other agencies, dove into the case with hundreds of officers scouring evidence, interviewing a multitude of witnesses, and following numerous leads. I detail how early reports emerged and how police were inundated with potential tips, some of which later proved to be false leads or even deliberate hoaxes. I narrate the chilling sequence of letters received by the media, detailed notes written in a calculated, taunting manner by someone claiming responsibility. These communications, sent to newspapers such as the Los Angeles Examiner and Herald Express, were marked by a callous bravado that both confounded and infuriated investigators. I explain that while these letters initially hinted at the killer's potential self-aggrandizement, they ultimately added layers of complexity to the investigation. The media, ravenous for every detail of a sensational crime story, played a significant role in shaping public perceptions. I describe how headline after headline captured graphic details of the crime, often embellishing the narrative with lurid descriptions that blurred the lines between fact and speculation. This media frenzy not only complicated the police work, but also influenced the public atmosphere, sparking countless debates and conspiracy theories. Despite a massive investigative effort that spanned numerous agencies and involved over 750 law enforcement personnel, the case remained stubbornly unsolved. I highlight that despite the grand jury sessions, numerous false confessions, and meticulous forensic work, critical evidence was inadvertently contaminated or overlooked due to the pressures imposed by public scrutiny. This convergence of investigative diligence with media sensationalism created an environment in which every new detail was analyzed, debated, and often misinterpreted, setting the stage for the enduring mystery that still captivates us today. I now present a discussion on the plethora of suspects, theories, and controversies that have emerged in connection with the Black Dahlia case. Over the decades, numerous individuals have been proposed as the potential killer, each theory adding to the confusion and intrigue that surround this unsolved murder. I recount how early investigations led to the consideration of various local figures, including nightclub owners and men with potential medical expertise, whose profiles matched aspects of the crime's execution. Among the many names floating within historical records are figures such as Mark Hansen and George Hodel. I discuss how George Hodel, in particular, became a focal point in later years after allegations from his own son, a former homicide detective, cast suspicion on him. I emphasize that while multiple individuals were scrutinized in the wake of the crime, none were ever conclusively linked to the murder due to the conflicting and often ambiguous nature of the evidence. I also delve into the alternative theories that seek to connect this case with other unsolved crimes, such as the Cleveland Torso murders and the Lipstick murders, suggesting potential patterns that might indicate the work of a single, unidentified serial offender. I explore how such theories, though compelling, have been met with skepticism by many experts who insist on separating documented facts from speculative narratives. Alongside these debates, countless false confessions have emerged, further muddying the waters and raising questions about the reliability of confessions made under intense media and public pressure. In presenting these controversies, I maintain a balanced perspective that respects the documented history while acknowledging the widespread fascination that continues to drive alternative interpretations and debate. I now turn my attention to the cultural impact and enduring legacy of the Black Dahlia case. The tragic murder of Elizabeth Short has transcended its status as an isolated crime and has since become a symbol of post-war American society and media sensationalism. I examine how this case has spurred a vast array of portrayals in books, films, and television programs. I discuss the influence of James Ellroy's novel and Brian De Palma's film adaptation, both of which have contributed to a mythologized version of the case that often strays from the verified facts. I also highlight how various media have revisited and reinterpreted Elizabeth Short's story over time, ensuring that her legacy lives on. These portrayals, while often dramatized, serve to remind us of the case's profound impact on public consciousness and its role in shaping discourse around violence and justice. In reflecting upon the cultural resonance of the Black Dahlia case, I emphasize that it stands as a cautionary tale about the perils of media manipulation and the complexities of the human condition. The persistent public fascination with this mystery underscores a broader cultural commentary on the interplay between fact and fiction, a dialogue that remains as relevant today as it was in the aftermath of the crime. My exploration of these portrayals aims to offer a clear understanding of how one case can echo through decades of cultural production. In concluding this detailed exploration of the Black Dahlia case, I summarize the key points discussed throughout this presentation. From Elizabeth Short's troubled early years and move to California, to the gruesome details of her murder and the extensive, though ultimately inconclusive, investigation that followed. I have strived to balance verified facts with the myriad theories that have emerged over time, ensuring that the narrative remains both engaging and accurate for a general audience. I reflect on the unresolved nature of this case, considering how its enduring mystery continues to prompt critical discourse on the intersections of criminal justice, media sensationalism, and cultural memory. The complexities of this case reveal much about the societal and historical contexts in which it unfolded, serving as a somber reminder of the countless human lives affected by unresolved violence. In sharing these insights, I invite you to share your thoughts on this case and to reflect upon how individual tragedies can echo through history. I conclude by reaffirming the importance of relying on well-documented evidence while remaining open to multiple perspectives in order to appreciate both the historical reality and the cultural impact of the Black Dahlia.